Almost 6 o'clock, hold on, sorry. I started too early, I thought it was 6. We have the video up. It's being 6 o'clock, I call the meeting to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we proceed to the regular business of the committee, I want to make mention that Mr. Hickman is present through Zoom. He and some of his family are not feeling very well, and out of an abundance of caution, has decided to participate this way, so as to participate in the school meeting. We have recognition.
I don't have any recognition.
Joe, it's all you, my friend.
So, the MASC conference so that new leadership skills and interacted with student leaders from across the state. For upcoming information, the annual Traditional Spirit Week is returning to MBHS. It will be held on April 8th to the 4th, the week before spring break. So it is the Student Council's help to extend our Spirit Day competition to the elementary school, and we will be inviting the 6th grade for a lip sync event. More information is to come. And Teacher Appreciation Week. Teacher Appreciation Week will take place May 2nd to Friday, May 6th. This week we'll recognize a different part of our staff each day. More information.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Joe? We'll move on to the approval of minutes. We have a school committee regular meeting minutes of February 28th. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the February 28th regular school committee meeting.
And a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion or questions? All in favor? Opposed? Correspondence?
I have, in the package, you can see a correspondence from the Commonwealth, from the Department of Education. We have come to some information come from the Department of Ed. They're trying to reach out to the school districts who have more students than students with over 1% using virtual schools. So we have 1.5% of our students population using some sort of virtual school, whether it be TECA or Greenfield Academy or whatever it may be. And as a result, we have the right to only cap that off at 1%. So I wrote a letter to the Department of Ed saying that North Brookfield Public Schools would appreciate that we cap our students at 1% because it affects our strain on the finances for the town. So I will be submitting this letter to the Department of Education, and I'm asking for your vote later on in the meeting. We have 1.53% right now. This is the first year that has happened. Typically we are under 1%, so this is new for us. So this has to be by the end of the month.
Are there any school committee reports? Moving on to financial reports. Fiscal year 22 budget update, please.
Yep, you can see the copy of all the budgets, and the deposits are not in there. We found an error, so we will give you the deposits next time in one of the deposits. So I didn't want to print that out until it was corrected. So really, we're on track to come in at budget. The budgets have now been taken out of grants. Those have come to us monthly now. So when you start looking at the budget sheet, you will see that everything is falling into place. So we're finally getting under control with that. And having a better handle on where we look. We have not overspent at this point anywhere, so that's looking good, and the revolving is looking good. Paying our bills on time, but as you can see, some of the other things that are getting a little higher are our electric, and things like that are showing a little bit increase. So thankfully it's lighter now. As we were talking about daylight savings, we'll be able to not keep the lights on as long. So hopefully we'll start to see a little bit of savings there as the spring moves on. And that's what I have for that.
Warrants?
You can see see the warrants. These are things we paid, as I was talking about the contracted services. A lot of that is for special education services. Some security services. We did have some work on the boiler, so that is also in here as well. And most of it is from the collaboratives and the out-of-district placements. That's what they're ones.
And on the agenda is about deposits, but you said that's not right.
That is not on there. I do apologize. I
Are
put
there
it
any
on there.
questions regarding the financial reports? Moving on, this is budget discussion, but you can't have a budget discussion without the budget being in motion, so. Superintendents report?
Oh, okay, we'll right to that. On March 8th, I attended a Zoom meeting with the Worcester County Superintendents Roundtable. I am part of that board we voted for earlier in the year. And really the focus this year has been on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the Department of Education is working across the state to ensure that all students' needs are being met. They've developed a task force and are offering workshops to ensure that school districts are creating opportunities to promote communication and collaboration to our underserved students. And then we will have, after 2 years, the Worcester County Superintendent Scholar Lunch will resume. The luncheon is going to be held at the Hogan Center at Holy Cross on April 13th. And all students across Worcester County will be honored for their excellence. This year's recipient is Jenna Dupel. And I will be having Jenna attend our April meeting so you can meet her and talk to her a little bit about the luncheon. On March 14th was Community Read. I love doing this. The second time I did this, so I had the privilege of reading to students in grade 3 and 4 on St. Patrick's Day. It was very exciting. The kids were all excited about talking about leprechauns and the tricks that they played, so that was the book that I read. So it was, I was very impressed with the spirit, and I couldn't tell you the number of, I think everybody was dressed in green that day. I've never seen such a Irish spirit. So it was nice to see the elementary kids doing that. Health Services continues to receive at-home testing kits. They should be done by the end of this month. We still have quite a robust supply, so if there are parents and teachers who are still interested in partaking of at-home tests, please contact Nurse Ventula or Nurse Floyd. On April 15th, our nurse, Maureen Floyd, will be utilizing these tests we have to test our students before they go to the Washington, D.C. trip, so she'll also be using those for that. We have a Smile Mobile Dentist coming to North Brookfield Public Schools on April 11th. If you're interested in having your child see the dentist, there's a sign-up link on our Facebook page, and each school principal will be putting a link or some information in their newsletter as well. So there's also paper forms for those who may not have access at the North Brookfield High School main office. And there is insurance, so if you have insurance, this mobile health dental will be covered through your insurances if you have it. Again, I continue to work with SWEC on the Strategic Planning Committee. We just finished working on our subgroups, and we are looking to create goals, to create an action plan to ensure that that collaborative continues to be a great resource for the rest of us. I attended that meeting on March 18th, and we talked about budget projections and reviewed programs. Staffing, they are also in the same boat as us as far as staffing. They would love to increase the offerings for professional development as well as some of the programs, but they too are struggling to find the right staff to staff their schools, so they're kind of at a standstill with accepting students too. So everybody's kind of in the boat. Just wanted to tell you that graduation, have a regionalization meeting, sorry about that. I've been meeting with the Mars consultants with Mr. Kasigian at Quabon. We had 2 meetings. The first was with the bus companies to discuss routes and the cost of transportation. And then the second meeting included principals. So we talked about, looking at things to merge. The RAC will be meeting on Wednesday, March 30th. When I get that Zoom link, I will be putting it out so people can see it. And they will present their findings on what's been happening with that. Graduation will be held on Saturday, June 4th at 10 a.m. Right now, we have scheduled it to be indoors. Unless things change, it will be, it will be in the auditorium in the elementary school. And then the last day of school is Friday, June 17th. It is a half day for students and staff. And I do want to recognize, I could have done this in the recognition, that Cindy O'Hara, our Director of Technology, will be retiring on April 1st. Cindy spent the last 15 and a half years in North Brookfield. She's agreed to stay on part-time, so she's tendering her resignation part-time so that she can finish our reports for the end of the year. So she is going to be working remotely. to do those, and we will have Justin Hackinson, her assistant, come in and make up the difference in time and handle the technology piece. And that once we have Cindy leaves, we are going to meet with the admin team and really how are we going to restructure that position, or do we need to look at different ways to try to make sure that both needs are being met with the same person. So we'll also be looking at that. So I think that is it. I just want to congratulate Cindy for her hard work and dedication to the North Brookfield Public Schools. She's done a really, really nice job. The last couple of years have been hard technology-wise. She's done a great job making sure that everybody has Chromebooks and really stepped up to make sure that we're getting the services we need. So she will be greatly missed, and I want to wish her the best of luck, but she's still going to be here part-time, so we won't miss her too much until July 1st. So that's what I have.
So our congratulations and thanks to Cindy as well. She has been here for quite a while, and you can absolutely see the difference in the technology footprint here, so thank you. And the chairman of the school committee blew completely past public participation, and I apologize. Do either of you have anything you want to?
Would be nice to have either a link or an agenda so that we know what's being talked about ahead of time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, did I not? I'm sorry. I thought I posted that. I usually
Might be
do.
outside, but it's not on the website. It's not.
It has to be on the town website
It is
for
on the town
for the warrant. It has to be there, so.
The union's also supposed to contractually get copies.
Say again, I'm
The
sorry?
union is supposed to contractually get a copy. Remember, I sent you an email about that back in September.
Well, you sent me an email about the minutes, but I didn't see anything about the agenda, but we will fix that.
How's it online? It just says like the warrant doesn't always include the agenda.
I will make sure that I do that. I do say, I will make sure that that connection is I promise I will do that.
I'm not, yeah.
Rich, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure that was the message that you had sent me was regarding the minutes of the meeting, so I apologize if we didn't get that, but we will, absolutely.
Do you mind if I ask one question about the virtual school thing? Does that mean that will take effect immediately and those children have to change? It'll just be like, once you go down, you can't go back up? Okay, cool. Just to clarify.
Yeah, it doesn't affect people that are,
fun.
it doesn't affect people that are, students that are attending those virtual schools right now. It's for the future.
Okay, cool.
Administrative reports? Who's going first?
I'll go, that was quick. So, start off, as Joe mentioned, 2 weekends ago, the MASC conference was held in Worcester. That's typically a conference that is 2 days down in Hyannis, but I was very happy to see that they brought it back in some shape and form. It was 1 day in Worcester, and our students had a great time. On March 8th, I mentioned this last month, we were planning for this, we had a very successful career fair, and we opened up to all of our grades 7 through 12. And the main goal of this was to introduce all of our students to local employers and have them have a conversation with what soft skills they need to have to be employable. So that was their goal. That was aligned with our advisory lesson. And that discussion also took place after the career fair, and the discussion was around what did you learn from these employers? What are they looking for when you go out to look for a job? So that was a good success, bringing that back into the fray for our students. On March 11th, we held our annual senior faculty basketball game, and that was well received. We had nearly all of our seniors participate this year, and the majority of our faculty. I was not there. My little girl was born on March 8th, so I was still with her and her mother. So next year I'll be there, and hopefully, I know the faculty won this year, but I missed being there, but I had a good reason to not be there. This week on Thursday, Ms. Malone is bringing 4 female student athletes to the Women Leadership Conference in Franklin. Again, we want to really expose our student athletes to some leadership opportunities in the state, so this is one of those endeavors. On Friday, I am bringing 2 student athletes to Gillette for the Sportsmanship Summit. This, to my knowledge, this has not been, we've not gone to this event in several years. So again, looking forward long term, I want to establish a more cohesive and kind of out and center group of student athletes really talking about leadership and those foundational skills of building some of our teams here at North Brookfield. So excited about those 2 endeavors. I'll finish off with one more thing. Project 351, which is a nonprofit organization which is led by 8th graders, or you have an 8th grade rep for each school, each city and town across the state. Our rep this year is Nathaniel Stonehouse. He is chosen to support Cradles to Crayons, so from April 4th to April 8th. He is asking any member of the school community, the community at large, to donate some slightly used clothing for that great cause. So we'll be sending out more details to the community about that. But that's Cradles to Crayons, and that's through our Project 351 chapter. And Nathaniel Stonehouse has done a fantastic job of getting that organized to date. And that's all I have for this month. Yes?
Is that the high school office, or would it be this office?
That's gonna be, it's a good question, Tim.
You could put one of both.
I think, I think we talked about it, and yeah, we could probably do one in both schools.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Sarah, you're up.
Okay, I just wanted to highlight a couple things from my report. One, a shout out to the 4th graders for their natural disaster projects that they presented in the library last Monday, to not only the students at our school, but they also invited the families in and presented their dioramas of their natural disasters and also their slideshows, which included videos, and the students were super knowledgeable and obviously had prepared and practiced really hard. So a shout out to them. And also, I wanted to, along with what Mrs. Rickson said about Community Readers Week, so all week last week we hosted members of our school community in the classrooms to read in honor of Read Across America and Dr. Seuss's birthday, which we usually do on a one-day event, but we did it all week, and it was great. The teachers that students had in the past could come up and read to them. Teachers that the students might have next year came down a grade level to read to the classes, so get some familiarity. I think we had some folks from the middle school. I think Mrs. Stanley came over and read to the 6th graders, so that's a familiar face that they'll have. So it was just a really fun way to celebrate that in a different way than we had in the past. So thank you to Mrs. Pratt for organizing it and to all of the volunteers who read. Any questions?
Any questions? Mr. Rigney, I went back and I looked, you're absolutely right, it says agendas and minutes, so I apologize for the miscommunication. We'll make sure that
I knew it and I just, sorry.
No, I completely missed the agenda part, I apologize for that, so. Well, when I'm wrong, I wanna say I'm wrong, so I appreciate your understanding, thank you. Do you have anything for the student services report, facilities, or technology that you wanna share?
I do, I don't have it with me, so you have it in your notes.
No, we have the reports, I just didn't know if there was anything that you really wanted to call out.
No, I think we're good. There's nothing, she just wants me to remind everybody that we do have a monthly CPAC meeting. So please, if you're interested in joining the CPAC, Anna Robert would love to have you join. And the next meeting is March 29th from 6 to 7 p.m. And I believe she's been doing them both virtually and in person. So if you cannot attend here, she'll do the hybrid for you. So just contact Mrs. Robert and she would be love to participate. And the last thing is preschool screenings will be held April 27th and April 28th from 9 to 1 at the elementary school. If you need information on that, you can find the forms on our website. And parents and guardians are asked to stay on site when those are happening. And that's really about it. From student services in the technology, Mr. Shaw just wants to let us know that we've been working hard trying to keep the parking lot from having a lot of divots, but the weather has not been cooperating, so we keep filling it in, and he's working with Jason on trying to get that fixed. So they're looking at replacing the high school tennis courts and the nets, so that's something we're going to be looking at for the future as well. That's really about it from them, from the other two.
Any other questions? There's no old business on the agenda. First item of business and new business is the vote on the 2022-2023 school budget. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the 2022-2023 school budget.
Do I have a second?
Second?
I think you
Yeah,
have
I just,
some
yeah, I just
comments to
wanted,
make.
yeah, I just wanted to say that, I do wanna thank the school committee for doing due diligence. When we did when I sent the budget out, over the, last week, from the last meeting, we found out that there was a glitch within the Excel spreadsheet. So you will see a new number on the budget. So, it comes in at 3.99%. So, I do wanna thank you for doing your due diligence, and I appreciate it tremendously, because we certainly want to make sure that we're transparent, we want to make sure that we have the right numbers, and make sure that we're budgeted properly for next year. So I really appreciate the due diligence, and you know, looking at the numbers, you know, we use a lot of the school choice, we used some circuit breaker money, as well as some ESSER money, so, you know, that was a great way for us to keep the cost down for the town. But I also want to let us know that, you know, moving forward, we're going to have to be cognizant, because we're not going to have this money forever. So just trying to find new ways, and I've looked at things for the future to bring in some grant funding for positions, and really looking for new ways to bring in additional revenue in the future. But I'm very happy that you guys double-checked my work. Thank you, and it was quite illuminating having this budget process. It was very helpful.
So the total budget for 2023 comes in at $8,035,287.63, of which there is a $1.137672 million offset that the superintendent just explained. So the net to the town is $6,897,610.96. Is there any other thing to be said about the budget before we have a vote? And I also want to echo your sentiment.
I have one comment. If you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can, Chris, just one second. I just want to echo Chris's comment, Mary Jane's comment about the work that the committee as a whole did to look at the budget and come to this number. Go ahead, Chris.
My only comment is, this is the first time that I've seen or helped, you know, analyze the budget from this perspective, and I think that maybe elaborating on, you know, what happens if we were to take more offset money from those accounts, you know, what happens moving forward. I think, you know, last year, prior to getting on the committee, I didn't fully understand how that worked, and I think that, you know, maybe elaborating a little bit to everybody else that's watching on what happens if we take too much from the offsets, et cetera, maybe would make it a little bit clearer for other people to understand why the number's where it is too.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think, and I'll let the superintendent answer that, but I think the issue really becomes, it's not sustainable, right? So the issue is that once we become dependent on that money that's in the offset, and that offset goes away, then the budget itself is no longer sustainable, because that money is gone. And so if we're relying for $1,137,676 of the budget out of offset, did I do something wrong?
I think you said 6.8 something for the net request of the town.
I'm going by the last column. It says $6
You
million
can
800.
take the COVID number off there.
What did I not take off?
COVID,
COVID relief?
Yeah.
it's 6,644.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking, what are you guys,
It's in the overview page.
I'm looking at the overview page.
The
What
next
am I
page.
missing? Oh, the summary page.
The summary page.
Oh, okay, I'm
There's a
sorry.
lot less
Oh,
numbers on it, it's easy.
It's not easier to read.
Okay, my apologies. I'm sorry, there was a COVID relief fund of $252,636.83. So the net request to the town, I apologize, $6,644,974.13.
Yes.
My apologies. Thank you for catching that. But Mary Jane, do you want to add to what I
No, I
just said
think
about
that is, I know that, you know, we were very fortunate the last 3 or 4 years having ESSER funding, and we've received just $300,000, you know, almost $1 million over the course of the last couple of years. So that's really helped supplement what we have. But, you know, looking at other things, school choice, our numbers for school choice are not increasing, so that number's gonna go down unless we start to create programs. So looking at, grants are not sustainable too. You don't want to, rely on grants because those fluctuate every year. So you have to be cognizant of what you're looking at. So, we just have to be mindful of moving forward, of what we're gonna use to offset the revenue, because, at some point, the funding is not gonna be there to sustain all these offsets, as you said.
Does that,
Thanks. No, it wasn't necessarily for me. I had,
Oh.
knew the answer to that. I think it was worth sharing to other people so that they understood.
Yep.
Thank you.
are there any other comments on the budget? All those in favor? Chris, I can't see your hand, but I'm assuming it's yours.
His hand is up.
My hand is up.
Okay, moving on to the Commonwealth Virtual School Enrollment Restrictions. We have a request from the superintendent to make the cap at 1%. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, sure, I'll make a motion to cap the virtual, I didn't hear the wording exactly, the virtual,
School enrollment,
school enrollment to 1% going forward.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a question. So if kids are enrolled in it right now, like
Yep.
Tashina asked, they stay in it as they go, but what's the procedure for that if it comes up next year? Because we're already over the cap now. So is it just as they become unenrolled in that, it just kind of
Yes,
whittles its way back
it
down?
works way
to-
back down, yeah.
Okay.
And I
you-
believe that we have one that already opted out already this year, so we've already gone down quite a bit. Well, we only have 500 and some students, so, 1%.
Doesn't take a lot to get to 1%.
Correct.
And you said there's a financial impact for the
It
kids.
will,
who did,
yes,
yeah.
because when students are going to the virtual schools, we don't get that whole portion of the funding. So we get a portion of it for that. For homeschool students and students who do those types of things, we get no funding. So school choice, at least we get a percentage. When somebody is homeschooled or or virtual school, that money goes directly to those entities or none to us.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor?
My hand is up.
His hand is up. You're gonna have to do a voice vote, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Chris, say aye or something, we'll get you.
Technology, this is.
All right, approval of donations. We have 5 donations.
Hannaford Helps donated $711. That's over a course of several months. So we have $711 given to the elementary school. We have $1,212.43. I think you have to do them separately, right? Should I do them separately?
We can read them all off.
Okay.
I think we read them all.
Because I remember we did this last time. And then $1,212.43 from Life Touch Photography. Sarah, can you explain what we're getting from them for that?
Life Touch?
Yeah.
So we get a commission off the sales of photographs from Life Touch. It's their incentive for us to use their company, so they make their profit, and then they give us a kickback on their profits, a certain percentage. And Spring Picture Day is tomorrow, so.
So buy your pictures, everybody.
I'll be here.
It was easy online.
Yeah, they make it really easy. They're a great company.
Yeah.
A lot of
And-
benefits. They do the magnets, the school calendar magnets for us and everything.
So if you haven't signed up at Hannaford's, please get our name in there, because when you go shopping, it comes to us. And then the next one is box tops for education. Still cut those box tops out and bring them in. We got $96.10 from them as well.
There's also virtual box tops
It's
too,
an app now,
which a
yeah.
lot of people miss.
Okay,
And there's an app and you can scan your receipt and it automatically logs in whatever is eligible, carries over there.
We made more money when we did the physical box top, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because it's not as tangible, people forget about it. I used to cut all of that, so I know.
Yeah, it's something that's good for everyone to know about, because I know I come home and I start to throw the receipt away and Brooke's like, With a receipt.
I think we can get that on the website and put that information up. Maybe this, principals can put that in the newsletters as well, so that we can, get that information out. So that's a great idea. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Canada. We also have 2 donations, for Washington DC trip. So thanks to these 2 donations, one for $250 and the other one for $250, our students can go to Washington DC without having to raise any more money. So this is so exciting, and I can't tell you how thrilled Margaret Hanson was. She was over the moon, because she has been working so diligently trying to, get more, ask everybody for more donations. So the kids are very excited, and we want to thank the anonymous donor. So can I get a
motion to approve the donations?
I'll make a motion to approve the donations.
In a second?
A second.
Any questions on the donations? All in favor?
My hand is up.
I believe you. Okay. With nothing else under new business, can I have a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of negotiations?
I'll move to go into executive session for the purposes of negotiations.
I'm sorry, I should have finished that.
Will we be coming back to?
Return
Do you want to add?
to return to public session solely for the closing of the meeting. Let's do this first, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
I will move that we go into executive session and return only to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor, it's a roll call vote. Mr. Canada?
Canada, yes?
Mr. Hickman? Mr. Hickman?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Rowley, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Messer?
Yes.
Okay, so we also, because of MASC training, we now know that we need to have a vote to bring our recording secretary into the meeting. So may I have a motion to bring our recording secretary into the meeting for the purposes of taking the minutes of this executive session?
I will move to bring our recording secretary into the
Did I
executive
do something
session.
wrong? You're looking at
We
me
need to
like.
ask Mr.
Is Tim coming too?
He goes to the, I guess not.
I don't know, I'm not, listen, I'm not going into, I'm doing whatever you tell me to
Do we
do.
want him to, I guess, is it something you want him to stay for?
I think, well,
No, the
Doesn't
school
really
committee's,
matter.
yeah, we probably don't,
Yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure.
Tim's got a baby at home, he probably wants
Okay.
to go home.
Okay.
Or he might wanna
How do
stay
you have to do that?
here.
I don't understand, okay. So we have the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor, Mr. Canada?
Yes.
Mr. Hickman?
Yes.
Yes?
Mr. Grant, yes.
And Mrs. Omasti, yes.
Okay, we're in executive session.
Thank you all.
All right.
Have a good